Well, I mean, the opposition that we always see is from all of those areas, right? And that opposition is that, we can't do this ourselves. Mm-hmm. We don't have enough education. We don't have enough organization to educate our own children. Mm-hmm. We need to just fight to make it better on the plantation. We need to make it a little bit better in the prison that our children are already in, to give them, less suspensions. And if they're going to suspend them, just have them in a in-school suspension. To have some teachers that maybe care about them a little bit. Mm. That's what people are saying. But we are saying that is not enough. We need our own. We need our own school, our own environment, because we do not get well from sickness. We do not get better from disease by staying near disease. Mm. We must get away from that disease. And these schools are diseasing the minds, polluting the minds, miseducating the minds of our children. So we can't stay close to that. Mm. And even if it's going to be hard, and it will, even if it's going to be difficult, and it will, even if it's going to take a while for us to build up, we still got to do it. Mm-hmm. When are we going to stand up? I say to those folks who oppose the kind of things that we're doing, when are we going to stand up? When are we going to stand up like men and women and do for ourselves? Any creator tells you that, of any spiritual system, right? The Lord blesses the man or the woman that has their own. When you going to have your own? When are we going to stop being dependent like children upon other people, and especially our enemy, to educate our own, when they have proven over and over and over again that it is not in their best interest to do so, right? Because they would never concede power to the people that they oppress.
Other thing,
here is my vision. My vision is that Liberation Academy, Kamali Academy, and the other academies or schools or shoelays or echoes that we grow, that we build, right, will be maroon communities. Those satellite maroon communities on the outsides, on the outskirts of the plantation, right, that build, that educate, that grow their own, that are very much independent, right? And that continue to grow and grow and grow and raid the plantation for teachers, raid the plantation for students, in a slow trickle in the beginning until it becomes a flood, that our African people, when they unplug from the plantation, when they leave the plantation, they have somewhere to go. And when they come to those maroon communities, we teach them war. We teach them strategies. We teach them not only intellectual warfare, but actual physical warfare, right? So that when they do come, we are ready. We are ready to deal with any enemy that we have on, any country, any battlefield, but we need to be teaching that, right? And the only way we can really, really teach that is when we go off the plantation and have those maroon communities like the schools that we have, like the schools that we are building, because we cannot build that kind of knowledge. We cannot practice the way we need to practice the liberation skills we need within the system as it already is, right? Because they stifle it. They will come, and we will be ready. I mean, number one, you would have African children who can think critically, who can think for themselves. And those African children are going to become African men and women, and they're going to have children, and they're going to inculcate those kind of ideas in them as well once we educate them, right? You will have African communities that look like African communities. You have little Africas, like the little Africa we're trying to build up in Algiers right now. You have little Africas all over the place where you see Swahili words or tree words or Yoruba words, and the street signs are saying uhuru. You know what I'm saying? Na unguvu. You on freedom and power lane, right? You will see businesses that have people who are not only black that are running them and owning them, but those people give back to their community, right? We have businesses where black people are working there. You have African people wearing clothes made by themselves, wiping their butt with toilet paper made by African people. You know what I'm saying? Can we make toilet paper? You know what I'm saying? So like these little things, but also number one, I believe you will have umoja or unity. African people coming together again, because one of the things that the school does very, very beautifully, I think, is to divide the older generation from the younger generation, to divide so-called classes of people amongst each other and never really bring us together as one. Never really having us understand that we are African people and we all face the same devil, just in different hells all over the globe, right? You will see Pan-Africanism. I think you will see the resurrection of the continent of Africa, because I understand and know that the people on the continent, our brothers and sisters, are looking at us. They're looking at to see what we do. They follow us. So if we rise up, if we throw off the shackles of miseducation, then they will do the same, and we will begin to use that wealth that is coming out of the ground of Africa to benefit Europe and America, and we can use that wealth to what? Benefit us, to build us up again. And this is not something that I am saying will happen overnight, nor should it. Right? Nor should it happen overnight. This is something that is generational. It's a generational warfare. But it does not happen until we say it is liberty or death. Until we say, I am going to sacrifice anything that I have to sacrifice for the education of my children. When we say I am uncomfortable with the way things are, so much so that I am going to get up off my black butt, my black behind, to do something about it. And we haven't gotten uncomfortable enough. We are still content on the plantation. We're still just saying we can only see these people as being over us. We can only see ourselves as dependent because we have what I think Amos Wilson would call psychological immaturity. We haven't grown out of our child mind state. If you have a child and they grow up to be 18, right, and they grow up, and they're still living in your house, many children at 18 are ready to get out of their father's house, to get out of their mother's house, so that they can have kuji chagalia, or self-determination, right? So they can do for themselves and live by their own rules. African people, we haven't got there yet. As a majority, we don't want to live by our own rules. We don't want to live by our own values. We don't want to have our own house. We just want a better bedroom in this white man's house.